in Toronto, where I now live and I have been for 10 years, we opened the new house there in 2004, I think. I can't, I've lost track of the years, but no, maybe it was 2005. Anyway, and we did the Ring Cycle as the first opening production. Mad or what? And we had 4 directors, one for each part of the cycle, and I directed Greta Demerol. It was Atom Egoyan, the filmmaker, and François Girard, the French-Canadian filmmaker, and Michael Levine, who's designed all 4 and directed one. And
I didn't know Egoyan did opera.
He does sometimes, yeah. Him and François both dabble in the live theatre whenever they feel like it. And it was a Canadian event. I was sort of the honorary Canadian. I stood in for Robert Lepage, basically, because originally it was going to be Robert and Atom and François, these 3 filmmaker, theatre makers, and Michael Levine, who's the most famous designer in Canada, certainly because he works internationally all over the world. So it was the ultimate Canadian package, but Robert in the end couldn't commit, because of the way his life is. So I was I'm a landed immigrant, I'm not a Canadian citizen, but I was the next best thing to a Canadian that they could lay their hands on locally. And I'd already directed the Ring Cycle in the whole Ring Cycle at the Edinburgh Festival in 2003. So it was strange for me then to go in as one director on another Ring Cycle so soon afterwards. But it was fantastic. We had such a great time. But that house was very different, the opening of it, because the lead time up till the first time they did a show in it was much longer. I mean, the handover of this theatre was meant to be, 3 weeks ago or something, 4 weeks ago. It still hasn't been handed over yet by the contractors. There are contractors all over the building as you speak. Everywhere there's contractors. There are people painting steamed up doors backstage. There are people putting down stuff in dressing rooms. There's just stuff is going on everywhere. So we've been putting on this show in the middle of a construction site, effectively. Like yesterday, there were people in the pit, and they wanted the pit up to do what they needed to do. We needed the pit down to do what we needed to do. So that happens all the time. Whereas in Canada, it was very different. The theatre was finished late, but because they'd given themselves a long lead time, the lateness didn't matter. And they had to sort of compress a few galas and concerts. But by the time we moved in, the theatre was actually a functioning building. And we had glitches with software in the lighting systems, which held us up a bit, but nothing like here. So this has been much more of a ride than that was.